Everything's bigger in America. We've got the biggest cars, the biggest houses, the biggest companies, the biggest food, and finally, the biggest people. America has now become the fattest nation in the world. Congratulations. Nearly 100 million Americans are today either overweight or obese. That's more than 60% of all U.S. adults. Since 1980, the total number of overweight and obese Americans has doubled, with twice as many overweight children and 3 times as many overweight adolescents.
Obesity is an epidemic that has invaded the United States. To be classified as being obese, a person's body mass index, or BMI, must fall between 30 and 39. In order to calculate BMI, you divide weight in kilograms by height in meters squared. In some cases, this measurement can be inaccurate. BMI does not take into consideration the ratio of lean muscle to fat. Some bodybuilders may be classified as being obese based on their BMI. There is a significant disparity by race or ethnicity of people who are suffering from obesity. According to the Office of Minority Health, in 2008, American Indians and Alaska Natives were suffering more from obesity than any other race. 40.8% of American Indians and Alaska Natives suffer from obesity, while only 34.7% of Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders suffer from obesity.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to come to talk to you today about a problem that's of great concern of me, and I know to all of you. And I know that it's one that many of you are seeing and hearing about every day in your communities, and that is the epidemic of childhood obesity in America today. As you know, over this last year, my first year in the White House, I've been thinking, reading, and speaking a lot about this issue, but the statistics still never fail to take my breath away. Mayor Couts pointed out right now nearly 1/3 of children in America are overweight or obese. That's 1 in 3 children. And 1/3 of all children today will eventually suffer from diabetes. And in the African American and Latino communities, that number goes up to almost half.
Statistics from the Office of Minority Health show that Mexican American children ages 6 to 17 are disproportionately affected by obesity. 47.8% of Mexican American children ages 6 to 17 are obese, while only 25.7% of African Americans from the same age group suffer from obesity. Statistics have shown that children who are obese are 70 to 80% more likely to become obese as adults.
Being overweight used to be socially unacceptable, but now it's ballooned into something dangerous, physically and fiscally. According to experts, almost 2/3 of American adults are seriously overweight or obese. That's a 150% increase in just the last 30 years. Obesity among children doubled over the past 2 decades. Not only does more obesity lead to more disease like diabetes, heart attacks, and cancer, but it also leads to 120,000 more deaths in this country every year.
CDC reports that in 2010, people ages 18 to 44 were more obese than all other age groups. 60.1% of people aged 18 to 44 were considered obese, while only 33.1% of people aged 75 and older were considered obese. Public health surveillance of obesity reveals how infectious obesity is. The latest statistics surveillance system state indicator reports show that obesity is more prevalent among males in Arkansas than in males in New York and Colorado. In Colorado, 17% more males are obese than females, and in New York there are less females that are obese than there are males.